Some of the coolest conversations you ever have are with your coworkers. So we made a show about it. Welcome to Breakroom Sessions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another episode of the Breakroom Sessions.
You're so silly.
We're here with Reek.
What up?
Shauna.
Yes.
Country Cuz. Ill Will. We have a special guest in the house. Very
Yes.
special guest in the house.
Yes.
Coming to us from Las Vegas,
All
Nevada.
right.
But he resided in Kankakee, Illinois,
All
ladies
right.
and gentlemen.
All right.
This man is two-time Grammy accredited.
Yes.
Got platinum plaques on the wall. Was on the Basement BET.
Yes, sir.
Worked with Ludacris. Did you produce music for Lil Wayne too?
Well, I got credit for that because they used my beat from Georgia.
There you go.
On the mixtape. Yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Nice.
please welcome to the Breakroom Sessions, DJ Vudu.
Woo!
For sure.
What you guys got for him?
I don't know.
I mean, y'all.
We got a lot. I just can't think of nothing right now.
I mean, y'all family, so just whatever is on y'all mind. It don't have to be nothing specific.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
How did you get started is good.
Oh man, in general, from the keys or whatever. Like, honestly, I started from about 12 years old, right? And I was DJing house parties with actual vinyl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to be in them damn parties at 12 years old. But at the time, I was staying with my grandmother, and my grandmother was older, and you know what I'm saying? I snuck out the house, I ain't gonna lie. DJ Red, Marco Williams was my mentor at the time. So I'm going out to the basement, you know what I'm saying? Down there, you got like 2 turntables, you got a whole bunch of crates of records. He DJing house music, house parties. I'm also doing like hip hop. I think back then it was like maybe Special Ed, BDP, Boogie Down Productions. What was it like? Boot Camp Click around that time, like the older stuff. You know what I'm saying? Around that, maybe 89, 90, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give away my age, but pretty much I was like 12 years old. You know what I'm saying?
It's
I was
okay.
down there doing that. So that's where I got my start as far as the DJing. But as far as me producing, I always like to use samples back in the day. So my uncle in North Chicago, he had a whole basement full of nothing but records, like thousands of records. And back then we had the sampler, it was a Kai sampler. It had 4 seconds. Back then, if you had 2 seconds, you was the shit. Can I curse?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. I don't want YouTube monetization or whatever, but as far as y'all can edit that out. But as far as like that, like if you have 4 seconds,
He be cussing.
oh, okay, cool. If you have 4 seconds back then, all my producers,
Exactly.
all my producers know if you have 4 seconds back then, that was like the ultimate, right? And so my uncle had the 4 second sample. So back then I was doing stuff like it was a loop. So if it was like a maybe 7-8 second loop, that was like, you know, you was doing your thing. So back then I started off in the basement sampling. So I started producing and DJing around the same time. My first aspect of really like DJing, it was a station out here. I used to take cassette tapes and make my own mixtapes. What I have to do is record whatever, stop, wait for 15, 20 minutes for another song, good song to come on. This is before GCI Power 92.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, and we had a local station here in Kankakee. Exactly, the bus.
I don't
And
remember.
not to say my age, but back then the Bart Simpson song was out. That's how I remember that. And Poison.
Yeah.
Poison was out by BBD.
Yeah.
So I would make my own mixtapes, literally with tapes or whatever. And I just started from doing that, and I got used to like putting songs together. And y'all know where the Junction is at, right?
Yes.
Okay, one of the first parties I did in the Junction, I was literally DJing with tapes. Like, people don't know this. I was literally DJing with tapes, right? Back then, it was hard to get, in Kankakee, it was hard to get vinyl, hard to get actual records, right? You had to go to Chicago or go to a place down the street called the Record Bar. He passed away, God rest his soul, but I had to use actual tapes. And I was the only person that had a Tascam tape player that had the pitch control on it. So on one tape, I would use the pitch control to match it up with the other tape player. I didn't have enough money to get 2 tape players with pitch control, because the one I had on the left was like a professional upgraded studio version. But to answer your question, like I started around 12 years old, starting with vinyl and tapes, and then graduated to CDs and graduated to, you know, Serato or whatever, like the new programs now. But I went through every stage: vinyl, tapes. Actually, I take that back. CDs might have been third because we had the CDJs and stuff like that. But that's how I got my start. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
So I like that. But my question would be like, so growing up, was you good in school? Like, was music like your way away from everything? Like, I mean, did you like excel? You look forward to going to college and stuff like that? I mean,
music was my passion, and DJing and DJing and producing was like my first love. I guess DJing might have been my first love. But to answer your question, I attempted to go to school for sound engineering.
Right.
I went to Columbia.
Okay.
But at the time, funds wasn't right. My dad didn't really have the money to really put me through school or get my financial aid together. So I started out doing sound engineering. Started out my first year when I graduated in 96 with this. Well, he graduated after me, but what
97.
97. He was right after me, right? But 96, I graduated. Wanted to go to college for sound engineering. Went my first semester, and my dad couldn't get my financial aid in time to get my classes together. So I was doing like classes off of Wabash downtown. So in order to make my classes, they had to be done early. You had to do early scheduling. I didn't have the money to do early scheduling. So what happened was after my first semester, I had to do the college dropout thing. But like on the same Kanye tip, it was a blessing at the time. And my mom was like, man, don't trip about going to school. Just focus on what you love to do and just step out on faith with what you got to do. And it just worked out.
Wow.
But my original intent was to go to college. I encourage all kids to go to college. Don't get me wrong, but any event is not for you. Try to do something technical to where you do a skill trade or something like that, or start your own business and just work from there and get experience. You know what I'm saying? That's sometimes the best thing to do is get experience.
Right. Hey, who inspired you to like get into DJing? I know you said you always loved it, whatever. Who did you like really look up to?
Honestly, from the Keys, I would say DJ Red, and his real name is Marco Williams. He's from here. That was my mentor, and DJ Icy Dre is from here as well. That's Twista's DJ. He was originally Twista's DJ.
Yeah.
Those two guys from the Keys were my inspiration, but my other inspiration was my actual uncle that had all the records. His DJ name was DJ DMC from North Chicago, Waukegan area. Those are the three closest DJs to me that helped me start out. But my uncles on my mother's side, they used to go to New York and rock with Houdini. They used to be going backstage with Houdini and all of them, going to the parties, doing all the type of stuff. And God rest his soul to the guy from Houdini that passed away. But when they come to Chicago, it was over. My uncles would go to Chicago clubs with them, hang out, do all kind of stuff. I looked up to them. And a DJ from Houdini was one of my inspirations, but also it's a DJ from New York called DJ Red Alert. He used to bring back mixtapes from DJ Red Alert. And when I got them mixtapes, some of the first stuff I heard was Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying? It was like Fight the Powers around that same time. Also, Fear of a Black Planet album was out around that time. So those DJs played majority East Coast stuff. But on this side, on what's called WBMX back then before GCI, they used to have DJs DJing on the mixtape hour. You had to get your tape ready and record the real mixtapes back then. Those DJs on GCI was an inspiration because they were local DJs that I looked up to that I can actually hear on my own hometown. But to answer your question, from the New York side, I was inspired by New York music through my uncles, my older uncles. They was like my brothers is like 5 or 6 years older than me, but they brought back that New York vibe, and I was hooked since then. And one of my first influences that really changed my mind about hip-hop, I'm not going to say that because KRS-One was an influence, but Rakim changed the game to me. Wow. He changed the whole element of hip-hop. Him and Big Daddy Kane and Gangstar. Those was my three favorite at that time. So those are my inspirations as far as that. And DJ Premier was a big, heavy influence on me as far as DJing because the scratching element. But those are like the DJs I looked up to for real.
Now DJ Jazzy Jeff?
DJ Jazzy Jeff was from Philly, and I didn't really get a chance to tap into him. If I would have got mixtapes from Philly, I would have been. Yeah. I didn't catch on to him until he came out with Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
How you gonna say Jazzy Jeff instead of
because he's one of the greatest.
He is an icon.
Instead of over the RZA?
Yes, DJ Jazzy Jeff is
not over the RZA,
more
man.
of that,
the RZA changed
that culture,
but
RZA got his influence from Jazzy Jeff.
What?
RZA is younger than Jazzy Jeff. Jazzy Jeff is like
he perfected it.
He took that to a whole level. Yeah, for sure.
That was nice.
Yeah,
man.
But I didn't really get that Philly influence until they came out with Parents Just Don't Understand. I think I could beat Mike Tyson, all that type of stuff.
Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever it was called.
Yeah, for sure.
So what you think about these current beefs that's been going on?
I mean, being in the industry, I see a lot of stuff that goes on, and a lot of that is just it's cap, but it's money driven. A lot of these cats are best friends. They work with each other in the studio. They be with each other all the time. They date some of the same girls. They be at the same spot. And a lot of it is money generated. Some of it is real based on the culture, but a lot of it is just like, let's make this money and let's just not so much play like we're doing anything, but it's all
Fabrication
and culture driven. It's really culture driven. A lot of these cats don't have real beef. Up the street in Chirac, that's real beef. That's how people get killed because they're doing the stuff for real. They're not just talking about it, they're doing it. And a phrase that why you bring up Wu-Tang, one of the guys from Wu-Tang said back in the early 90s, mid 2000s, he said this quote, he said, most rappers want to be gangsters and more gangsters want to be rappers. Nowadays, like these cats from the Chi and in Philly and also in like the drill up in Brooklyn and those areas like that, these kids are smoking on people, you know what I'm saying? But they're really doing what they're saying in their raps.
Wow.
It's not a game. Like Drake and them, that's not no real beef. Kendrick Lamar and Drake, them they cool people. They are artistic.
Right.
They write bars. They really don't. They not about that life. That song is whatever. Yeah. They not like that. They don't even want to be like that because they would risk too much money. They would be sacrificing the bag.
Oh wow.
But these cats in like Chirac and in Memphis, and in Philly, they're literally doing what they're saying on their record. And the FBI is looking at that like, okay, keep doing what you're doing so we can get this RICO on y'all.
Wow.
And that's what's really going on.
Wow.
And being in the industry, I got inside information on stuff like that because I'm around it. But that's what really happens. But to answer your question, that ain't real beef. Wow. If it's promoted, it's not real. The realest beef that I can say, from an aspect of being personal, I would say Quavo and Chris Brown, because they got real beef based off of a situation, and Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. They're not gonna fight each other, kill each other, but on some real personal, like, you hurt my feelings and I want to get at you and hurt your feelings, those are real beefs. Kendrick Lamar and Drake, it might be subject from a girl or situation like that, but that's more money driven. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if it's more money driven, you think Drake gonna come back? Because that was heavy.
You gotta look at from a publishing aspect and from an executive aspect. When you get yourself into that algorithm, if I got beef with you and you make this song that's so popular and every song that you do, you got my name in it, not only is that a trademark issue or a licensing issue, you're boosting my algorithm. If you look at the catalog that Drake has songs in every genre and going on off of every different station. If you look at the catalog of Kendrick, I'm not knocking Kendrick when he has going on, but you got to look at Drake since 2000 and like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He has a song that comes on every station at every minute if you look at every station in the world.
Oh, wow.
Kendrick don't have that many songs.
Okay.
He does have talent. But as far as streaming and overall catalog, Drake don't never have to make another song ever.
Wow.
Kendrick has to catch up. Yeah. The last album that Kendrick did was cool, but it's not even knocking on the Drake stuff.
Wow.
And see, he said that, and now that he said that, it makes sense because when Tupac dropped "Hit 'Em Up," they asked him. He was like, one of his guys asked him, "Pac, why you make this song so ruthless like this?"
Right.
He said, "I'm gonna make this money."
But it's something deep behind that we can probably get into in a second. That's really behind that. But as far as what's going on with Drake and Kendrick, it's not really. It's manufactured beef.
I got you.
Now, if you're looking at a rollout, if I say, Drake, you're my friend, let's say for devil's advocate, let's make this fake beef, and I'm going to promote this song and do something really, really crazy, and put your name in. Just say if he gave him permission, he did a rollout. What happened next? DJ Mustard album came out. Yeah. He used that to boost him up. Now, They Not Like Us is the number one rated song, number one on every chart consistently. But if you look at it, Kendrick Lamar really lost. Why? He couldn't make the hottest song he's ever made without Drake being the
topic, being the subject.
Do you think Kendrick Lamar would have came out with a song and had that motivation to get Mustard on the beat and do a song like that?
Wow.
He made They Not Like Us an actual single for the club. and have people chant and say it. I'm not knocking Kendrick Lamar, but if Drake wouldn't have hated on him and fueled that hate and that manifestation, Kendrick Lamar wouldn't be talked about right now. He would not be doing a Super Bowl.
See, I was going to touch on that.
Let's just keep it 100.
Yeah.
He deserves to do the Super Bowl, but not in this moment. He's still, you know.
I mean, I think what's going to happen at the Super Bowl is, Kendrick going to be he going to end up bringing Wayne out, and Wayne going to end up bringing Drake out.
Okay.
And they just go have
and I said that.
Great.
And you disagree.
I got a question real quick. Do you think he deserved it over Lil Wayne?
Okay, this is my whole thing with the whole Super Bowl, right?
Perform, man.
When you go to a city like that, you're taking away from their culture.
Yes.
The Super Bowl has been in New Orleans for 11 times.
Yes.
Right? So it's only right for the culture to benefit off of that, right? I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it as far as his catalog and his accolades. He deserves it. But Kendrick Lamar has already performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's one aspect, right? He was a featured artist, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like they're not going to have another Super Bowl on the West Coast. It's going to be back in San Francisco next year. Then it's going to be back in LA 2026. Well, 2027. So people's argument is, well, they're not going to keep on giving it to the artists that's from there. Just because they did it in LA don't mean they're going to do it anywhere else. But Jay-Z, coming into the aspect of being the person that chooses these people, he has the right to put certain people in certain places because of the culture. That's why we put him in there, to help us as black people after the Kaepernick crap, right? So it's a slap in the face to New Orleans. It's bigger than Wayne. It's bigger than Kendrick. Now, from the aspect of spirituality, New Orleans is the last place you want to play with when it comes to spirituality and their people. Because I'm not saying they're going to put a curse on him, but that's bad karma when you do that.
Yeah, especially
because you're taking away from that city, right? And let's say, oh, well, Wayne, he shouldn't perform because he's strung out and he can't remember his lyrics and stuff like that. Do you know how many songs he has with different genre artists that he can bring out to help him with that 15 minutes?
Or they could have just made it cash money.
They could have just made it cash money. But my whole thing is, you have to look at the culture. To me, what Jay-Z did is some hoe-ass shit. Just bottom line. I understand the aspect of it, but that's fuckboy shit. Because you know why you doing that.
Yeah.
If Kendrick Lamar, okay, let's look at it like this. I said if you say through a contract or through terms, I would have no problem with Kendrick Lamar doing that if he said what you was going to do, right? But don't do They Not Like Us. Do you think he's going to do the Super Bowl without that song?
No. Right.
No, that's what. Really
that's the whole point that y'all was trying to make.
Yeah.
Now check this out. My name is Vudu Spellz, right? But not in the negative aspect. I put people through spells with music and love, right? But when you look at the irony with New Orleans, words have spells. Do you think you about to go to New Orleans and perform that song, They Not Like Us, and having the whole 60,000 people saying OV ho? And New Orleans don't spiritually connect to you and create bad karma? You think that's gonna happen?
Wow. I didn't. That's
bad
way
karma.
deeper than I was thinking about.
Yeah. I love hearing it.
Not only is it disrespect not to bring out Cash Money and Master P and whoever. Not only that, you gotta look at it from the spiritual aspect. When you got that many people tuned in at the same time, it's programming. When we were back in our days, we watched like The Cosby Show. Yeah. We watched America's Most Funniest Videos. We watched Full House. But all of us had to watch it at the same time. Yeah. Because their programming, it wasn't no on-demand. There wasn't no Dish Network. There wasn't no Tubi. There wasn't no you record it and go back and watch it later.
Yeah.
We all were in tune at the same time, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So what's going to happen is with the Super Bowl, you're going to have millions of people tuning at the same time. And that energy is going to go into people's brains and their hearts when they see Drake being disrespected like that. It's going to cause a lot of spiritual issues. But also, you're looking at these kids and what they're listening to, and you talking about he's a pedophile and all this stuff. It still hasn't been proven.
Right.
It's still just propaganda.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they don't care about what's true and what's not. It's about the programming of our minds.
Yes.
So when you go and do that song, it's a wrap. Because you're blocking your blessings at that point.
So what you at spiritually, man? You a religious man or you just a spiritual man?
All right, I'm spiritual. I'm not anti-religious. I respect everybody's religion, but I'm spiritual. And the reason that I'm spiritual is because it's in my blood. One, because on both sides of my family, my mother's side and my father's side, both of them were pastors. Not only pastors, but pastors of Church of God in Christ church. And when y'all know, Church of God in Christ is different from Pentecostal, it's different from Baptist, it's different from Catholic, it's different from Protestant or whatever you want to call it. Church of God in Christ is another monster when it comes to religion, right? So it's in my blood. But both my grandfathers, they were also entrepreneurs. They said, I'm not working for nobody. I work with you, but I'm not working for you. Both my grandfathers have historical landmarks after them. In Kankakee, my grandfather has a street named after him off of Greenwood. It's William McCarty Senior Street.
Nice.
But in North Chicago, which is another 40 minutes north of Chicago, 40 minutes south, 40 minutes north, on the north side of Chicago, in Waukegan / North Chicago, my grandfather on my father's side has a street named after him.
Nice.
So not only do both of my grandparents are pastors, but they both are entrepreneurs to the point where the community looked at them as being pillars of the community. And I'm not flexing. I'm just like blessed because I'm the only person around me ever I can say that both my grandfathers got streets named after them. Right. If I just had one, I'd be happy as hell. Like, that's dope. But both my grandparents, so I got a responsibility, and my son got a responsibility to act right, have a good legacy, not screw up, not be in the blogs, not do nothing stupid, not jeopardize my family and my legacy. I got to be careful about what I do, what I play, what kind of songs I produce, all this, because I got to respect my family name. Right. I can't be out here doing crazy shit. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Yep.
So I am very spiritual though. I mean, I can't. Religion is cool. I get it. I feel like anything you do that's gonna help you be a better person, either whether it's Allah, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Buddha, whatever, definitely focus on that. Right. But my thing is, I have a responsibility now, especially in this day and time, to tell people you need to have a personal relationship with God. Yeah. As long as you're not an atheist, I rock with you. Right. And I don't care if I don't believe in idolization and worshiping things. I'm monotheistic, meaning that I believe that there's one God, but I think that we create God. I believe that God created us, but we created religion. We didn't create God. We created religion. Yeah. So in religion, you have to look at the imperfections of Christianity. There's too many things there's too many inconsistencies under Christianity, right? Yep. You got Baptist, you got Pentecostal, you got Church of God in Christ, you got Methodist, you got Catholic, you got Seventh-day Adventist, you got Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witness, yeah. So how are we supposed to teach anybody else about what we're doing and how to love and how to follow God if we can't make up our mind what we're going to do because we got so many different divisions of that? True. I can respect Allah more than I can respect a Christian because not saying that it's right, but some of those people that's Muslim, they're willing to die for what they believe in. Yeah. Are we? Most of us not. But if you tap into the spirit and you walk with God, you can kind of like have a relationship with other people, even Jewish people, they have Judaism. I can respect that because they believe in a higher power. And we don't even have enough time to really get into that. But when you look at, I want y'all to go research some stuff. Okay. Go research Judaism and the planet Saturn. Just think about that. Y'all that's watching on the camera, whatever, go check out Judaism and the planet Saturn. Okay. And you'll figure out some things that they worship. I'm not saying it's devil worship. I'm not saying it's negative or positive. I'm just saying they got a different way of thinking than we do. And that's the reason why they're further than us, because they have a spiritual connection and they're more devout to God than we are. You know, with Christianity, the reason why it's different denominations because the people didn't like what one part of that Bible says, so they say, you know what, I don't like that, I'm gonna do my own religion. So one of the things that my grandfather taught me before he passed away, all four of my grandparents have passed away for years, and they're guardian angels for me. I'm sad that they're gone, but they've been with me and protecting me, helping me, being blessed. But what I'm about to say is crazy because he told me that one of the pastors back in the day didn't like what the Bible said as far as divorce. They said it's immoral for you to get a divorce. If you do that, we're gonna outcast you in this Christian church or whatever. He said, you know what? God told me something different. I gotta go with my heart. So he started his own religion. Let's say if that was Baptist, let's say if that was Seventh-day Adventist or whatever. That's how the different denominations started. Oh wow.
because one person didn't like what somebody else said. Now, we got to be careful with that, because what's going to happen when you start getting to the whole transgender thing? I don't have anything negative or positive to say about that. All I'm saying is look at how it's set up. If you don't like something, you just make your own division of it.
Right.
Yeah. That don't make sense to me.
Right.
Yeah, don't.
So that's what has happened. And when you start getting too lax and don't stand on business when it comes to your God, that's what happens.
Right.
But my thing is, no matter how divided we are, we should be all focused on one God.
Yes.
And that's going to bring us back together. But that's what it's been spiritual wars that's been going on for years. People been killing each other over their belief in a God. People dying over literal wars over God. So when you're spiritual, you don't disrespect nobody in their belief. You just understand that there's one God. That's what I believe. Yeah. But I can't tell you what to believe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I like your analogy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like it, but I ain't all the way there with you. But I like it though.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, but I like to hear.
I feel everything.
I get it. I understand.
I just feel like it's just. I feel like God can be a multiple. That's all I.
You said you think God could be a multiple gods?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Now, see. I'm glad we're talking about that, because I want to get how you feel about that. I'm not going to discredit what you're saying.
Because I ain't discredit anything.
No, but I can understand why you would say that, and I understand how that could be true, because at the end of the day, if there's multiple gods, you have to understand it's almost like it's an oxymoron, because it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Something had to be first, the alpha and omega.
Yeah.
So if there's more than one, they couldn't be made at the same exact time. So what created them?
Yeah, but then at the same time, why everybody want God to be a man? Like,
God is not necessarily a man.
I'm just saying God is always spoken of.
God is
beyond that.
It's
I'm
beyond
just saying,
that.
when people usually speak, they say, "Oh Father." They don't say, "Oh Heavenly Mother."
But see, God is not a monolith, right?
Yeah.
And God is all beings included in one. But some people take the Bible too far, because they use it they don't look at the perception.
I don't look at
now like
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
I don't necessarily go off the Bible, right? So that's why I respect everybody's religion, because I believe that the Bible was tampered with so many times.
Yeah.
too many times,
and too many people that wrote it, I can't trust them.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I told my daughter this yesterday. I said, do not worry about no books. Don't worry about nobody telling you what to do as far as what you believe. I said, take this for example. Just like me and you talk, we black men, we understand each other. But I'm asking you this question like I asked my daughter. I said, what would you do if you're on a stranded island without nothing? What would you do?
I would
It'd just be you and God. It wouldn't be no books. It wouldn't be no statues. It would be just you and God. So what I'm saying is we both on the same page. You can't depend on the Bible. You can only depend on the God that's in you. We are God. Right. We're not more powerful than God, but we are God. And when it gets to the point of He was made in our image, we can't always look at the He part, because with you being a female, if you told me I believe God is a woman, how am I to knock you and say it's not? You're a being. For all we know, the woman may have been first. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The woman may be God. All I'm saying is I don't care what God is. I know that God in my life controls my blessings and control me.
Right.
I would prefer it to be a woman. But if it's not, I got to respect what it is.
Absolutely.
But I believe that God is multi. You know, now
I agree with that. Like you said, if it's like we say always, the Father, and when we pray and stuff like this, well, like you said, it can't be multiple. Like you said, you got to be the chicken or the egg first. Like,
right.
It has to be something, man. You can't narrow it down, because he's all things. Like, you can't just put a gender on him, because he's all things. Right.
But it's like you saying right now, each time you referred, it was
because that's
he or him.
And what I'm saying is
that's what we're trained. That's what we're
I know that's what it was trained.
Yeah.
I know it's been.
But also he's
That's
speaking from his experience, because let's say God is him, he's God. He's speaking from himself.
Yeah.
His knowledge of self.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with her saying God, he or she.
Right.
Because that's her belief.
That's her relationship.
For me, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I have to say it as from a man's point of view.
I try my best to say God and not say he or she, but it's just in my blood saying that.
I understand. I understand. I just look at God and I don't see a gender at all.
I don't exactly.
And that's I just see an entity that is just pure energy, and it could be formed into whatever.
And I totally agree with that. It's just that I'm not saying this is my belief, but a lot of people, when they come to spirituality, they believe in a masculine and a feminine energy, and they believe that the masculine energy is alpha.
Right.
That's why you have alpha males and beta males.
Right.
So they believe that masculine energy is what produces everything, and the feminine energy is what protects it and saves it and secures it. I can't say that's right or wrong, but I can respect somebody saying that. You see what I'm saying?
I ain't knocking nothing you said.
That's why I feel like God said when he. When he said.
Let's hold those thoughts.
Okay.
Let's hold those thoughts.
Because I sure want to say something.
Oh, you gonna get in. You gonna get in, Shauna. I'm gonna wrap this up. We're gonna hold those thoughts.
You gotta let her cook.
You in the kitchen next. You up next.
Okay.
This has been Breakroom Sessions. Reek, Shauna, Country Cuz Ill Will, DJ Vudu Spellz. We'll be back.
Thank you for listening to Breakroom Sessions. Share this podcast with a coworker and be sure to follow and subscribe for future episodes.